Hello everyone, my name's Minako. Well, of course, that's not my real name, and a couple of years ago, my appearance was totally different from what you see now. I was just a normal schoolgirl. My real name is Stacy. I was a mousy person who didn't like to communicate with my classmates. I preferred reading books or studying at a music school instead. But then, my hobbies drastically changed. Thanks to them, I have changed beyond any recognition, and nothing is left for my uncertainty and isolation. Do you want to know what happened? I'll tell you. Just watch my story to the end. As I said, a couple of years ago, everything in my life was totally different. I was in high school, and I was the most inconspicuous girl in the class. And no, it wasn't because of my appearance at all. It was just that I always preferred books to socializing with my classmates. I thought everyone my age was stupid, their jokes weren't funny, and their interests were a waste of time. They didn't want to talk to me either. My parents, of course, worried about that, but they were sure this thing was temporary, like, teenage troubles. One weekend, I was mindlessly flipping through TV channels and came across an anime series. At that time, I still only knew some basic things about anime and manga. The only anime I watched was the well-known classics, The Walking Castle. The series ran non-stop all day, a bright, colorful world, filled with friendship, love, and adventure. It captivated me so much that I didn't notice how the time flew by. It was so different from my gray, uninteresting, and monotonous life that I didn't want to leave this fairy tale. Fortunately, all the following seasons of this series could easily be found on the internet. In the comments to this anime, I found the references to other TV shows, where the experienced anime lovers advised the anime must-watch, so to speak. And less than a month later, I was completely immersed in the anime world. I hung out on the forums. I joined some special groups on social media. My books were replaced by manga, Japanese comics. This was something new to me, something I saw as the way out of my gray days. So, it was great for me to watch strong, brave, and resourceful anime girl characters who are always ready to face difficulties. And how beautiful they were. Of course, I understood this was all just animation, and real people don't have this appearance, but maybe you can get closer to your ideal. This idea was so obsessive in my head that, much to the surprise of my parents, I decided to change my image. I got rid of my glasses and replaced them with blue lenses. I dyed my hair a soft pink. I reviewed my wardrobe, removing the shapeless gray and black jumpers and jeans. Of course, my classmates were very surprised. One of the guys even said frankly, "I didn't know you were so cute." But the best compliment for me was the words, "You look like an anime character now." Oh yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Strangely, the changes in my appearance also affected my communication with others. It turned out that some of the guys from my school were also interested in anime and they read manga. During the breaks, we hung out in a cafe nearby and discussed the series we were watching and Japanese movies. It was so cool. One of my new friends, Amy, told me about a cosplay festival. This is a place where the fans of anime, manga, and video games get together every year. The main thing of this festival was the costumes. Many people spend a lot of money and time in order to get transformed into their favorite anime character. When I first went to such a festival, I just blinked my eyes, looking around, and couldn't utter a word. I felt like I was right inside an anime. It was an indescribable feeling. I also had a favorite anime character, and I decided that next year, I would definitely try to make a costume and become a part of this bright world of anime. And, of course, this story couldn't do without a handsome guy, right? So, keep watching. His name was Light. He was the most popular and the coolest cosplayer in our city. He organized cosplay festivals, theme parties, and photo shoots. I think all the anime girls in our city were in love with him. You bet. A cool, handsome guy who looked at everyone with his indifferent look, and that was the thing the girls got hooked on and fell in love with him later. Unfortunately, I was no exception. When I saw him at the festival, I realized I fell in love at first sight. But I didn't have much of a chance. There were always other girls hanging around him, and he looked at everyone indifferently. And then I thought, I should be different from all of them. I gotta make sure Light wants to meet me. I decided the way to the heart of a cosplayer is, well, through cosplay anyway. He's been doing this all his life. Probably he's seen a lot. He even went to a festival in Japan. So I had to come up with something that would definitely get his attention. And first, I decided to change myself. Of course, my parents weren't exactly thrilled when I told them all my wishes, but my mom convinced my father that these were my age characteristics, and this was my way of expressing myself. The first thing I decided was the operation to enlarge my eyes and correct the shape of my nose. I had them completely ordinary, and I needed them so that when people looked at me, they would think I had jumped out of an anime. The next thing that needed to be corrected was my figure. I wanted to make my waist thinner, so I not only went on a strict diet and exhausted myself with physical training, but I also wore a special tightening corset. Yes, it was terribly inconvenient and even painful at times, but I wasn't going to give up on my goal. People around me looked at me as if I was crazy, but in less than a year, I had become a completely different person. I didn't even look recognizable. Someone reproached me for being unnatural, and that I had totally gone crazy because of my stupid anime. But every morning, I looked in the mirror and I was happy with what I saw in the reflection. I looked exactly like an anime character. Bright, flirtatious, seductive girl. So Light was almost in my hands. For him to definitely notice me, I decided to take part in the cosplay contest, where he was the main jury member every year. I had no doubts about my costume and image, because it looked like it was made by professional costumers and makeup artists. Of course, I won. The award was presented by Light himself, so I was looking forward to him coming up to me on stage. I was so worried I didn't even remember what he was talking about. I think he complimented my costume, and then he congratulated and hugged me. I was over the moon with happiness. Then, I couldn't even imagine what a disappointment awaited me in the very near future. After the contest, Light invited me to a party. It was a festival after-party, where the organizers and the coolest participants got together. I sat next to him at the table, and he told me about his trip to Japan, saying that my costume should also be shown to the Japanese people. And I dreamed we would go to Comic-Con in Tokyo together as a couple. But a voice snapped me out of my fantasy. A strange girl sat down next to Light and kissed him on the cheek. Sorry, what? Am I bothering you? Light introduced us to each other. This is Minako, me, the winner of the cosplay contest. And this is Leah, my girlfriend. Wait, stop here. A girlfriend? An ordinary, simple girl with Light? Where's the camera? Am I being pranked or what? I didn't want to believe what was going on. So, all my efforts were in vain? And he doesn't need an anime girl at all? And even Stacy, whom I was a year older, would have had a better chance of winning his heart. And when Light was not surrounded by a crowd of fans, he wasn't a cold prince anymore, but a cheerful and sociable guy instead. I could hardly hold back my tears all evening. My heart was broken. Apparently, only in an anime love story of the main character has a happy ending. In real life, it's not like that at all. I was disappointed. I wanted to give up everything and never think about anime or anything related to it again. But how can I do this if every day a big-eyed girl with pink hair looks at me in the mirror? I don't know how it would have ended if it hadn't been for one phone call that brought me to my senses. It turned out that an entertainment center would soon be opened in our city. One of the entertainment areas would be anime and stuff. The owners of the center saw me at the competition and decided I would be a perfect candidate for both advertising and working in the center. In return, they would sponsor my trip to Japan for Comic-Con and pay for other expenses. This offer was my salvation from sad thoughts and my unrequited love. So, I agreed. Now everyone in the city knows me as Minako, the anime girl. I flash in the ads. I have my own blog about anime. People recognize me on the street, and they take photos with me. Do I regret changing my appearance because of a guy with whom things didn't work out? No, I like the way I look. I like my new life and the people around me. Do you think I was so stupid to have surgery for such a purpose? How do you feel about cosplay? Write your answers in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed my story. Don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to always stay tuned. Sayonara!